Hi there, welcome back to the channel. This is a channel dedicated not only to my 2012 Jeep Rubicon, but to Jeeps in general.
And my 2012, even though it may not look like it, has seen a lot of action throughout our 10 years together. These combined elements have taken their toll on my electronic disconnect, and on my last adventure to Limestone Mountain, my Swaybar wouldn't lock up at the end of the day. If it weren't for the firm setting of my Falcon 3.3s, the drive home would have been a sketchy one to say the least. Fortunately, it's an easy fix. I removed the front Swaybar assembly and started taking it apart to see what has failed. Typically, there are 4 failure points: the actuator or the motor itself, the position sensor, the connector, clearly not the case, as you can see, mine's totally clean, or rusty internals. I continued the disassembly. The internals were less than awesome condition, so I believe I have found the culprit. I'm not sure what the technical name for this piece is, so I'm going to refer to it simply as the guide lever. It was heavily corroded, and it was even a little gritty. Due to the spring action, this piece is supposed to fail into the locked position. Mine was the opposite. Given that the removal of this piece was difficult, I can see how it was stuck in the unlocked position. I put all the internals into a sonic cleaner where they would soak for the next half hour. Once the cycle was completed, they looked free of corrosion for the most part. I shifted my focus now to cleaning the aluminum case. Once the old grease was mostly cleaned up, I dremeled all friction surfaces for smooth action. For the purposes of this video, I didn't go crazy on the grease as I wanted the parts to be clearly visible. Once I was done filming, I did go crazy with the lube. Be sure that all friction points on the guide lever have plenty of grease. When reassembled, be sure to check the action. It should be nice and smooth. And the spring must have the ability to move the arm into the locked position. Time for reassembly. This can be tricky. It's best to do this with the bar in an upright position. I just didn't want to hang $20,000 worth of camera from my basement ceiling. I couldn't find the torque specs, so I just hand tightened everything down. That was, after all, how it appeared to be from the factory. You can see now that it's in the locked position. Reinstall the actuator motor assembly. This only goes on one way, so there's no chance of a mistake here. Again, hand tight is more than adequate here. I then reinstalled the Swaybar assembly onto Rubi. Before reinstalling the connector, make sure the O-ring is properly seated. If it's not, you will get moisture inside the connector, and it could short out. Time to test everything out. The Swaybar locked and unlocked as it was designed to do.
So at the end of the day, that was actually a pretty easy repair. And in fact, of all the how-to videos I've done, this was the first one that was a $0 cost repair. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And at the end of the day, it was pretty easy. You know, as far as getting the Swaybar out, I didn't really show that because it's just so easy. It's 2 bolts here. These are the 5/8. 2 bolts here and undo your links. Now for me, that does kind of segue me into a new topic. Because I have the TerraFlex ST3 3-inch lift kit, it does come with these handy little clips to actually manually disconnect. And it's even got a nice hanger for hanging your Swaybar and keeping it out of the way. So because I sort of lost my faith in the electronic disconnect, I think I'm gonna do that from now on. Just manually disconnect it. Sure, the button's easier, but this gives me peace of mind that I never have to worry about putting this thing together again, taking it apart, greasing it, doing the maintenance, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm gonna go that route. I was actually contemplating replacing this whole unit and just going with a normal Swaybar. But you know, I would have to take the Jeep into the shop to get it reprogrammed to stop the blinking light. And I just don't know if the shops here locally are equipped to do that sort of thing. So I did stick with the electronic disconnect. So I hope you liked my video on servicing your electronic disconnect, which was found on Rubicon models since I believe 2007. If you did find it helpful, if it got you out of a bind like it did me, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And maybe, just maybe, I'll see y'all out on the trails. I'm out of here.